pressure. The pressure.
Pressure makes diamonds. What's up, everybody? Welcome into the DNVR Nuggets Pregame Show. Game 2 edition. We are presented as always by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Download it now. Use promo code DNVR. Because even when the times are bad for the Nuggets, we still make money. We still make a lot of money.
It takes so little for times to become bad for Nuggets Nation.
It does take very little.
It takes one game. Like, times are good, guys. We're going to make money. This is the second game of the playoffs. One game and it's even.
Yeah.
These are good times.
Yeah. Over here, I've got the man with the boyish charm and the flower shirt. It's Brennan Vogt.
Do you guys ever find it how funny you watch another playoff series and you go, oh, they lost the first game. That's tough. We'll see how they bounce back.
Yeah. Oh, it's no biggie. It's no biggie.
Like, at home?
Yeah.
Game 1? Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see. It's 100% true. That we're going to talk about that later in the show. All of the favorites losing out west in Game 1. Over here, I got D-Line Co.
Let's go, guys. I'm a beacon of positivity tonight.
Are you guys want? I haven't noticed that.
Any positive feedback on anything, except for your haircut. You ask me.
Damn it. Over here, superstar Duvalier.
D-Line, how do I look today?
You know what? Immaculate. You look immaculate today.
See, yeah, I like this.
Well, I like these positive vibes, Eric. They are appreciated and needed. And, the Nuggets here, Game 2, I'd call it a must-win. Must-win Game 2. Going down 0-2, not an option, especially if the first two are home.
Dude, imagine being down like 1-3 or something.
You can't come back from that. The Nuggets cannot come back from that, I don't think. But no, this is, I think, a very important game. Sure. I think the Nuggets need to come out all business. It's going to be interesting. We're going to talk about our personal wish lists for Game 2. Well, if we could choose, obviously, not, besides the Nuggets win, I hope yours is a Nuggets win. That's a given.
Okay. Stall before you go to
me. Stall. We're also going to look around the NBA because the first weekend in the NBA has been insane. Absolutely crazy. We're going to talk about that. Also, there's something new. There's a big little tidbit we're going to drop that I just found out about today that pertains to Nikola Jokic, the Denver Nuggets, and what happens over the next couple of days. And then, of course, we're going to win some money. But first,
I have no idea what that tease is about.
Isn't that a great? Oh, you don't?
I'm actually excited.
I know you guys should be because I didn't tell you anything about it. But it's going to come in segment 3. Tell us about the game notes. What was Michael Malone's mood? Would you say in the pregame commentary?
Something short of perturbed.
Yeah. Okay.
Not.
Did somebody call him Mike? Is that what happened?
No. Just
preterm.
He's had a couple of days to sit and stew. I'll get into it. Michael Malone said pregame that the NBA's postgame report was sent to the team, and there were a bunch of calls that were missed. The report said Jokic should have gone to the line 8 more times. So
the biggest one I highlighted on the list, by the way, Jokic got fouled. The sequence that I deemed the most important started with Jokic getting very blatantly right in front of the referee fouled on a 3-pointer that I actually didn't even pick up on real time. Just like
the Nurk one, right?
Yeah, but like he was 3 for 4, I think, at the time from 3, and he almost airballs a 3-pointer as Nurkic ran into him. It was very frustrating. I'm sure that was one of them.
Yep, and then another point. Talking point after that game, Michael Malone did mention Shaq Harrison as a defensive option on Damian Lillard tonight.
Yes.
Mentioned him. He didn't say which way he was going, but you can infer perhaps we see Shaq tonight, fellas.
I did infer that.
Yeah.
And maybe it was implied and was why I inferred it. But,
yeah.
No, but it did sound like we're going to see some Shaq Harrison tonight. One of the things that was a key in Game 1, Portland did not generate any turnover, or Denver didn't generate any turnovers. Portland did not turn the ball over. And you look at Shaq, the number one thing I would say about him is he gets his hand on the ball. He gets deflections. He gets all of that. And, I think to me it's going to be one of the big keys. So I would say I'm not going to call it a lock, but it's close to a lock that he plays tonight.
And then finally, around the narrative about Nikola Jokic's 1 assist in Game 1, Michael Malone called it ridiculous, as much as being made out of nothing. He had 1 assist. We couldn't make a 3-point shot. I think on wide open threes, we were 5 for 11. On open threes, we were 3 for 14. So Malone's not that concerned. Execution was the problem, but
I will say this, man. I'm listening to some of the podcasts today, and it's always the haters that have it. They're like, I've been saying for years, force him to be a scorer. He can't do it or whatever. And I'm like, guys, the reason that you can force him to not to post up and not pass is because he doesn't have the other aspect of the game right now with the guard play. There's no one to run the pick and roll. The thing that's great about Jokic is he can do all these different things, but a pick and roll requires a player that can run that and hit a jumper. So this idea that there's like an unlocked defensive scheme against Jokic is like, yes, if he is playing alongside a two-way player and a 10-day, you do have a strategy that, by the way, barely worked.
I was going to say he also scored nearly a
34
point a
points.
minute.
He scored the top amount of points in the game.
Yeah, but I'm saying, but Denver's, and also, by the way, Denver's offensive rating, I think, was like 118 or 117, something like that. And so again, it's like you held them to slightly above their regular season average. But whatever.
Hey, look, and if you're an opponent,
Narratives happen, man. That's
anytime
what
you keep
happens.
Jokic from beating you, it feels like a win.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
however it happens.
For sure.
That's about it. Will Barton still out for this game.
Yeah. That was, and by the way, it's interesting to me at least. I don't know about you guys. Will Barton was announced out yesterday.
Yep.
Which tells me, like, maybe one day they'll have him as doubtful, and then maybe he doesn't play. I don't know.
Yo,
but,
I don't think we're gonna see him in this series.
Well.
Like that soft tissue stuff is like, I mean, it just lingers forever and it lingers.
Lingering.
Like you know, like I wouldn't expect, and frankly, like I don't know if I want to see him. You know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I do. I want somebody that can run pick and roll. Like, again, this idea of the defensive stop really is predicated on who are they going to run that pick and roll with that is going to score consistently off of
be
it.
Austin Rivers.
Yeah, maybe Austin Rivers. Maybe
Gotta
they
be.
go to that down the
If
stretch.
he comes back in the middle of this series, he's not going to be himself.
Yeah,
It's
that's
also
true.
going to be an issue to come back, and you're playing against a team that you like mentally like want to play against, and you're not physically ready. Like I don't want to see him come back.
Okay,
right
well,
now.
Well, there you go. Do we have the starting lineup?
Yep,
Is that
same starters.
same
as
starters?
last-
Same
last
starters. And Austin Rivers is not on the injury report, by the way, for anyone curious.
What would he have been on for?
With the illness.
Oh, the illness. That's
It's just-
right. That's
I
right.
assume that's fully passed.
I assume he's passed, yeah. Illness, how long does an illness linger there? We don't know, linger again. Let's move on now to the wish list. This is the meat of the story today. A lot of things happened. As I was going through my personal wish list, I told the guys on the panel to limit it to 3. I could have easily made 7 or 8.
Sure.
I don't know if that's a good sign that there were 7 or 8 things that I kind of feel like is key. But, limiting it to 3, I'm curious what everybody says. Let's start with Dev. What's on your wish list here? Item number 1.
Pick and roll defense.
Yeah.
I really want
Number
them
1 on
to-
mine, by the way.
I really want them to try to like defend. Like I don't care about scoring against Portland. I think that you can do that every single time. But if you find a way to slow down them Portland guards and also just make life difficult for them, like that should be everyone's wish list number 1.
Yeah. It's funny because this is the thing that's funny about listening to all of the, again, narratives that come out. And look, when you lose, narratives happen. You can't avoid them. If you don't like narratives, win.
Right.
But one of them was that, Denver was a 117 offensive rating. They had 94 possessions. So had Michael Porter gone 2 for 10 in the game from 3, they would have had a 121 offensive rating, and people would have been like, holy hell. So Denver's offense, I don't think is the problem. It is their defense. They're not going to stop Portland. Portland's the number 2 defense, a better offense. They are a better offense in the regular season than Denver was. But you can prevent them from going off the way that they did. So to me, is there a specific player that you feel most needs to step up for that?
Jokic.
I mean, I agree. Strong agree.
Yeah, I mean, and you don't want to be hard on Jokic. He has so much that he has to do, especially with like odds against him right now. But it all starts with the big guy. It starts with the MVP, and you have to like show yourself on both ends of the floor. You made so many strides as a defender. Showcase them.
Yeah. Do you think that there's a schematic difference from what Denver can do? Or like, is there something they can do that would be dramatically different, or do you feel like it's just tightening up what they were doing?
I would probably say tightening up, to be honest.
No.
I think the way that they're defending, like the pick and roll, like maybe drop coverage at times, are also just exploding on some of them. Where, I mean, Portland, when they were trying to do the pick and rolls, they were the physical team, so they're blowing up the pick and rolls. You don't have to do it anymore. So maybe Denver is the one that hits first.
Yeah.
So maybe that's one as well.
Another little mini pivot point, Campazzo picks up 2 fouls in a row in the middle of the first quarter, and Denver was up. Like, I think there is something to, like, having to replace him, and especially with Marcus Howard, like, it hurts you a bit. And, of course, Denver went from being up, I think, 7 to dive to in the first quarter, and that was a big swing point. So I'm with you. To me, there's no question what the number one thing is that Denver has to do tonight. It's better pick-and-roll coverage. They've got to find stops somewhere. Eric, do you want to give your top of the list?
My top of the list is I would like to see regression to the mean. I would like to see Portland not shoot their franchise record of 3s in a game. If that's too much to ask, I apologize, basketball gods. But I would like to see potentially Carmelo Anthony and Anthony Simons not shoot, let's see, 9 of 13.
Yeah, from 3.
That'd be nice.
3, if that's possible. Like, and then also on the same idea, like, see our guys step up in the same way. Like, I just want to see what we can expect, the two sides sort of coming together. Denver was much worse than normal, and Portland was much better than normal. So I just want to see like a game where you can have something you can expect to be repeated, so you just look back. And
I think these first two things are so connected, though. I really do. I mean, as much as they shot 19 of 40, and that's probably a little hot, 16 of 40 wouldn't have been that hot. And yes, that makes the game closer and maybe it goes either way, but it's still like a neck and neck game. And you really got to get them down a lot more. And they were just too comfortable. So I think they go, what do you got?
It sounds like I'm going to get my wish. I asked for Shaq Harrison over Marcus Howard. And it sounds like that's going to happen. Gary Harris isn't walking through that door. The Utah series changed when reinforcements came through. Yeah. Next best thing I see on this roster is Shaq Harrison.
And if he is walking through the door, it's because he has a ticket and he's watching from the stands.
That's right.
Because he's not on the Denver Nuggets.
That's right, yeah. He can push the metaphor even further.
He might walk through that door. It's possible.
I like that one. I mean, I think we're going to see it. I'm not completely Shaq Harrison changes the complexion of the game in a way that, like Marcus Howard, they're just so different. So I think he brings some things to the table, namely defense. Does he cost you something on offense? Marcus Howard hit a couple big shots. He only had 7 points, but they were all pretty big, So do you lose that? Is it in one hand out the other? I don't know. I'm curious about that.
Might be.
My top of the list, it was pick and roll cup defense, especially from Jokic. My number 2, though, Aaron Gordon impact. Going back and watching this, we talked about how in that second half he got out hustled, he got outworked. Defensive lapses, he gets dunked on by Nurkic. Like, there was a lot of little things in there where you're like, defensive stopper, and you are getting beat on crucial plays and posterized on crucial plays. So more from him, a bigger impact. But even if you go back to that first quarter where you all thought he was good, when I went back and watched it again, great job posting up and beasting, gets fouled, goes 0 for 2 from the line. Offensive rebounds, he grabs them, misses the putback. Like, he needs to convert. He was doing the things that he needed to do, but we're not converting on them. So today, those are points that are just like Anthony Simons. They're not going to, or Carmelo Anthony, they're not going to be 3-pointers, but they do swing the game, and he needs to convert on them. What else do you got, Dev?
Another thing, and it's on everybody's wish list, Michael Porter Jr. to be himself.
Yeah.
We need him to calm down. We know you're a shooter. Shoot the piss out of the ball. Get back to yourself. Get comfortable and knock some down. I think if he knocks down his first shot, he feels like comfortable. He's like, okay, I'm loose. I'm ready to play. Maybe it was just jitters. Maybe just being in a different situation. But I know that he's going to be back to playing and being like himself, and it starts tonight.
Yeah.
I mean, for sure, Michael Porter. This has got to be a Michael Porter night.
Man. I want to see scoring from the guards. Austin Rivers, Facundo Campazzo.
Yeah.
6 points, 8 points, respectively.
Yeah.
Granted, we got it from the front court, but we need the back court too, baby. It's particularly Austin Rivers. I mean, it seems we're to a point of absurdity with this season. Like, we're now like really just calling for and honestly like pretty reliant on a guy that we got 20 days before the season ended. But this is where we're at.
Yeah.
Austin Rivers is a lot better player than what he showed. He was coming off of what was reported as an illness, so you got to think like probably wasn't feeling his super best. So maybe he's feeling his super best today. Maybe he and Vogt shared a smoothie. Did you?
No, I would never share my smoothie.
It would be great. Austin Rivers game, it's like a Simons game or a Melo game. It's just like one of those ones where the other fan base is like, damn it, Austin Rivers.
That's what I'm saying.
And it also can create a little bit more maybe urgency and gravity in that way. Do you have another one here?
Yeah, more minutes for the best players.
Okay, yeah.
Jokic, Porter, AG.
Yeah. I will say this. I will say one thing. The way that Portland plays puts an enormous amount of pressure on Jokic in particular to work hard. And I think that we'd all love him to play the 44 minutes out of 46 or whatever. But this series, with who Denver has available, might be especially hard. Posting up, that's exhausting. Guarding the pick and roll up in space, that's exhausting. Sure. So I am curious what that limit is. But you're right. It wasn't 30, whatever it was.
36 was too low, I think.
Yeah, isn't that what it is?
AG, too, I think. And I know he didn't have a great game. But.
So I said this on the Locked On Nuggets podcast last night. And it actually, as I was watching the film, it was one of my most optimistic takeaways.
Oh.
And that is, if you go back and look at playoffs force you to really discover your identity. You have an identity you build, but teams put so much pressure on you that you have to go to the mattresses and really unlock new layers to you. And one layer that has not been fully unlocked, in my opinion, that can be unlocked in this series, and there were glimpses of it in the second half for the Nuggets, was how to properly use Michael Porter. So we got the Jokic post-ups, you got Porter doing certain things, handoffs, this or that. But I feel like Porter can be unlocked best for the Denver Nuggets now, and when going forward when Jamal Murray returns, when his gravity as an off-screen scorer becomes fully unlocked. Denver doesn't do a lot of this, like Steph Curry-esque. You run them around a bunch of different screens, but I think they can, and they started to do it in the second half. Kale, you have that clip ready here. You can go ahead and throw that up on the board. This was from the list. You get one of the 16 clips today free. We're going to look at this back screen. Of course, Denver runs this action a lot. Off ball, you see a back screen freezes Nurkic there. He has to help off just long enough. He doesn't fully commit, so you get a dunk there. This is off ball. Again, you're not running ball screens with Mike. You're running off ball actions. Here you're going to run them off a double pin down. It's actually 3 screens, almost like a floppy action. And what does that do? It forces the defense to overreact. You get a seal on the first screener here in Aaron Gordon, and you get a bucket. So so much has been made about that. Portland is not going to be helping off of Jokic in the post, but there's other ways to initiate offense and force the defense to move and rotate. The defense doesn't want to have to rotate. They want to be able to camp. Doing stuff like that with Michael Porter, Denver has not done this a lot. They have not run him off screens, but I actually think if they are forced to and they unlock this to it, they're going to unlock something for them going forward for years to come that is more valuable than anything else. Learning to use him like Steph Curry or Klay Thompson, running around, making the defense follow him.
I also just love the fact that moving him around like that opens up the offense for everyone else.
Yep.
While also giving him a lot of attention, and that gravity with a player that can score so easily just opens up the rest of their offense. I do like the fact that there are a lot of floppy sets, which is really just them like creating other things that are not really there. But if it does open up, that becomes an opportunity for them. Michael Porter Jr. was really good at creating for himself off of the dribble, but he also is now starting to score in easier ways where it's not just isolation basketball. Portland is not a good defensive team, so having them have to adjust, having them have to move, especially with a player like Nurkic, who we see is not as locked in and he wants to just stand under the rim, you can't do that if everybody is moving. So the list, great. The list is great.
Kale, do you have what were the people saying in the chat? Were there people? I want to hear other people's wish list. Did we have any unique ones? Maybe I want to see MPJ.
Did anybody wish for Adam to take his shirt off?
Ooh, that's the key.
A lot of people calling for more yoke ball, just moving the ball more.
I mean, that's first of all, you got to find a way to do that. I mean, it's predicated in part by how they guard you, but I'm with you. I will say I do think that there are things Denver can do, and Malone referenced this yesterday in his media availability about getting them moving on the backside, not just spotting up, but maybe getting creative off ball in different ways that confuses the defense. We'll see. What was the last one?
It was, again, the same thing.
Okay.
Just say move the ball.
All righty.
Oh, here's one. More JaVale McGee minutes and less JaVale.
Ooh, I don't know.
I've thought about it. I don't know if it's on my list, but JaMychal Green hasn't played well in a
He's
long
played
time.
poorly.
Yeah, he has played
Yeah,
poorly.
you can take it a step further again, Eric.
JaVale in open space, though, I mean, it's like Jokic in open space. He's a great rim protector when he gets to drop, but you can't really drop against them, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe you try it out. That's more of a break. I don't think we see it tonight. To me, that's probably more of a breaking glass in case of emergency, but we'll see.
right.
All right, let's bounce around the NBA tonight, guys. I told you I had a surprise for you.
Oh, boy.
Number one, I was shocked today, shocked on TNT as I'm watching the broadcast that they awarded the Sixth Man of the Year right there on the show, the pregame show.
Sure.
And it was a surprise to Jordan Clarkson. He didn't know it was happening. He wins. By the way, not the worst winner. That was not the right one, in my opinion. They always just give it to the guy who gets buckets.
Dude, can we just talk about the fact that there were 2 Sixth Man of the Year from the
Same team. I know it doesn't even make sense, but whatever. It's always just who scores the most
Isn't
points.
one of them
Whatever.
seventh
I don't
man?
care about that. What I do care about
can't
is
be 6.
we talked about the awards not coming out till after the season, doing the award show, but it appears, though, the NBA is calling an audible. And it sounds like they're going to hand the awards. And why is this important? Because Jokic is the MVP. And so much has been made about, is he going to get it Dirk style, where he has to come back from vacation and be awarded to it? I'm guessing most improved players coming up, coach of the year is going to come up. Like, MVP is going to be the last one, which I say, a lot of pressure on Jokic now. Extend this, not just extend the series, but win it. so that you're not in position to have to go on the TNT set for a game you're not even playing in and accept the MVP award. You guys see what I'm seeing?
I mean, yeah, I just don't know if that Jokic feels that pressure specifically. I think Jokic feels pressure.
All right, let me rephrase it. A lot of pressure for me personally for
there you go.
Jokic to do
And
this.
now I'm on board.
That's the one pressure he feels. He's
Yeah.
like, I don't want to have to go on the TNT set. No, Jokic hasn't even considered that.
But I have.
Yeah.
Oh,
and
dude,
I'm with Adam on
Our
this.
whole lives are about taking up arms for Jokic when he doesn't even realize. We're
Yeah.
like, man, you don't talk about him that way. And then we just turn around, he's not even behind
He's
us.
not even care.
He's just like, he's on his horse.
Yeah, but I'm serious. This is a thing that this series. This is why it's so important. Is now they're going to do this. He is going to have to accept this award, and hopefully it is with the Nuggets closing out the Blazers on TNT, and not the other way around.
It's also about timing. If you get it right after you lose the first round series, that gives talking heads more fuel. Like, that's all they're going to want to do. But if you do it in the middle of, coming back against Portland and pulling it off, kind of by yourself, then the conversation
even
gets
cooler.
going. You get going and you're like, okay, he's the real deal. You have to respect him. You have to change the narrative about him, especially to just the mainstream guys that just don't know.
Casual.
Yeah. The other thing,
casual
as we bounce
professional
around the
NBA
NBA, so it was talked about the only lower seed that did not win round one was the Lakers, who everybody picked as the one team to upset in round one. So wildly, all of the favorites in the first round lose.
Did you guys see the Jazz lost?
I did see that. Felt great to watch.
crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I understand that Rudy Gobert got injured by being attacked viciously by
Did you see that?
Slomo.
Oh my God, the Rudy Gobert flop. He's the lamest guy. Lamest good
That
player
was-
in NBA history.
That was the literal worst thing I've ever seen take place. Including the Malice in the Palace where there was real violence. This was worse.
Well, it's funny too because Karl Malone is also one of the worst players to ever have to stand. So it's kind of funny that Utah always gets the worst guys. That's it's really uncomfortable to have to sit here and cape for Karl Malone. But all right, I guess I'll do it.
That man should be embarrassed of that performing.
Oh,
act
really
that he
should.
did.
Really should.
That is sad to even talk about. You got to just get ahead of it. Hey, I just tried to get you guys. Say something. Don't just do that and then go on I can't believe that happened.
Well, we can only rag on the Jazz for so long because the Nuggets too are down 0-1 at the moment. But
but
no
the one seed?
embarrassing.
Wow.
We're down 0-1 with dignity.
No, I know.
All right. But here's my honest question. I watched the Lakers against Golden State, and we thought, oh, wow, two great defenses going at it, this or that. But we also talked about, were you impressed with the Lakers in that game? Golden State is so shorthanded. No. Then they go up against Phoenix. Were you impressed with the Lakers in that game? I thought they looked pretty bad. That game was actually a little, I won't say a beatdown, but it was a comfortable win against the Lakers team. And I look at that one and I go, I think the Lakers are really good, but they clearly are not their best self right now. And they might not get out of this round, but even if they do, they might just be more beatable than they were last season or really than anybody expected.
It's not that the Lakers are good or bad. It's just, really, it only comes down to those two players with that team.
Well,
it really only,
and great defense.
Yeah, but it still
Although
is
they got
all
cooked.
about those two players. Those two players shot terribly, and the Lakers looked awful. It's there's a pretty clear parallel there. And
Then you watch the Clippers. I was extremely unimpressed with the Clippers against Dallas. In that one. So I look at that and I go, the two big guys on the street look not so great. Donovan Mitchell misses the game for Utah. He's allegedly coming back. They're upset about this or that. But if anything, it tells you that he too is not 100% and will be having to fight through it. So I ask, is the Western Conference more open? And right now, is it overreactionary to say it's more open right now than you thought it was 3 days ago?
No, I think that's accurate. And I was just going to say Utah. I want to stop myself. If I'm a Phoenix fan, I feel better right now than I have at any point in the last how many years?
You get you get confidence that maybe this is a year for a run,
because
a Cinderella run.
Sure, you could say all of those sort of laws of top end talent, fine, but how's it helping the Lakers, the Clippers so far?
it is pretty hilarious, just the structure of the NBA and just the way that expectation works and the way that it's all just one long narrative that the Phoenix can be the one seed.
Yeah.
And then have a successful run in the playoffs, and we think of it as a Cinderella run.
For real,
pretty true.
for real. But
It's pretty funny.
they're sitting pretty right now, man.
Yeah.
They're sitting pretty.
So I
they
just say that to
should
say,
be.
Nuggets, get this win tonight. Let's start
this
dreaming
win,
again.
dude.
Let's start dreaming about a Cinderella run. It's open.
I
The
need
door's
everybody
open.
else on my level. We're
right.
getting this dub tonight.
You need
and
to get us
the
on your
second,
level.
Yo, the second we get this win, it's all right, It's not like we've not faced Portland is not suddenly just an unbeatable force. Like, we've played this team a lot. We know what they look like. Like, they got hot, man.
Yeah.
They got hot. Like, good for them. We can get hot.
Yeah.
We were not hot.
Yeah.
We were cold.
I'm feeling very hot right now. All right, guys, let's open up DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app, and let's make some money with Superstar Dev. And I'll tell you, there's still 10 minutes left in this, so we might run a little bit long today, but there's 10 minutes left in this blowout Milwaukee game.
There's negative 30 minutes left.
Yeah,
in this game.
so
This
there's
thing's been
a
over for
lot of
long
time before this Denver game gets going. But, Dev, where are we making our money tonight?
So the line starts at -2 for the Nuggets. Nuggets are favored by 2 points, which actually changed. It's been up and down. It started at 1.5. It went all the way up to 2.5. Now it's at 2. So there was like some middle ground. People are betting on both sides.
How do you feel about it?
I personally think that this is a bounce back game for the Nuggets. I think that they get into
This
a
guy-
spot.
Hang on.
Hold
hang
on a second.
Hold on.
Hold on a second. This show has integrity.
No
This
red
show has
shirt for me
integrity.
today, but flag on the play.
Flag on the play.
I don't know what you guys mean.
I want honest.
Hang on.
It was what I wanted.
Hang on.
Honest, Dev.
I thought I heard someone saying around here before the show.
Did you change your mind when we brought all the great analysis?
That's what the part. That's why we're here. You hear all these
You gotta
great
talk
things.
it out. You gotta talk it out.
You talk about it. You hear all these good points, and I'm like, you know what? Vogt is a genius.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go on his side today.
All right, I'll take it.
I do like Denver tonight. I think Denver
Won't
gives
be
a
over.
much better, much more urgent defensive performance tonight. I really do.
I mean, they're going to be inspired. Like
Yeah.
they clearly are going to be inspired, and they also know what it means tonight. So this is a bounce back spot. We all believe that.
Alrighty.
Then we go over to points. We go straight to Jokic as always. 30.5.
Woo!
They know, and on top of 30.5 is -129. So it's
Wow,
it's heavy.
they really think he's going to
They
score.
know that he's going to score.
They do know he's
They
gonna
know that Yusuf Nurkic is Gerber. Baby
food.
Everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Every time he's out there, it's like it's
Balkan
Benny
baby.
Hannes. He's getting cooked in front of everyone. It's family style. Like it's amazing.
I hope I get a shrimp in my mouth.
So
Benny Hanna style, baby.
So 30.5, like I like it. I feel like he scores whenever he wants to, and also I feel like he's going to play more than 35 minutes. He also knows it's on him to score. So big scoring night for him. Higher than 30.5.
Yup.
We go around the board. Michael Porter Jr. is at 24.5. We know with Michael Porter Jr., I don't like just taking straight points. I like the points, rebounds, and assists with him.
Okay.
Just because he is so active in other ways than only scoring. And it also just gets
Specifically
himself
rebounds?
It gets himself going. He gets the rebounds. We don't care about the
Not
assists.
assists.
If you're on a line that has this, like the points and rebounds only, it's even better.
I feel really good about Michael Porter points, rebounds, and assists tonight. I do think he gets in
34.5.
there.
And they think that it's actually going to go under. So you get it at
You
good
get
money,
plus money, huh?
-106.
What's Dame's line tonight?
That's going to be his final. It's his finale.
Well, I'm going to go the other way. I want to
Wrap
take
it up.
the under on that.
Yeah.
It's at
Interesting.
29.5.
He's doing a little
Yeah,
Shaq math
I
over
want to
there.
take the under on that.
Little Shaq math taking place over there.
Interesting.
So one bet that you guys like truly have loved the entire time is Jokic threes. They still have it at 1.5.
I know, but the juice is not nearly as sweet.
It's not as bad. It's -113.
I still like it, though.
Oh, it's going to hit.
He's going to take a lot of them.
That's a push button, get free money situation.
Yeah, I'm betting I'm putting 2 units on it.
See, like, we're in on that. We're in on that.
Dude, do you know what the lock is, though?
Of
The
course.
lock? What's your lock?
Of course I know what the lock is.
Okay, all right.
We're going right back to the well.
All right.
Right back to the well?
Aaron Gordon, points, rebounds, and assists. He's out there because he has to defend. He's also in spots that he has to get rebounds. He has to actually be aggressive. They also know that Michael Porter Jr. and Jokic is who all of the attention is on. It gives Aaron Gordon times. We talked about it earlier. He's missing open layups. He's not grabbing the boards and going straight up like we know he could. He also showed glimpses of being athletic again. He's scoring on dunks. I'm gonna go right back to well in his points, rebounds, and assists.
Alrighty, I'm with it. I'll put a little on there. Points, rebounds, and assists. I'm with it.
You want to know the lock is?
Yeah, the last one.
Do we have a lock? Oh, what is it?
What is it?
The lock, until further notice,
I love this lock. This is a good lock.
because we're in the playoffs, is Jokic rebounds
Yeah.
over. Over. We learned the secret of the universe last year, and we profited off it handsomely. Every single game that Jokic played in the playoffs last year, he got a ridiculous number of rebounds. If Jokic is motivated and needs to get rebounds, like, he'll get them. Like, you watch him.
I get a free bet. I just put my free bet on
dude,
it.
it's like- and he's going up against Enes Kanter and Yusuf Nurkic. Kanter is like really has a nose for the glass, but it doesn't matter. Jokic just if he's motivated, he just like went up over him. He stole like 3 or 4 rebounds just right out of Kanter's hands. That's the lock, dude. When Jokic is motivated, he rebounds. That's it. It's the end.
I'm also putting my money on MPJ 3-pointers, 3.5. Now, 3.5 is a lot, but he took 10 the last game.
Yep.
I think he's going to take 10 again tonight. And look, he's going to be – I can't imagine him shooting 1 for 10 2 times in a row. So I like it. It's plus money this time, so we get to put a little bit on it and win some money if he hits it, some real money. So I like that one.
What's the first quarter line?
Interesting.
Because I really want to bet on the Nuggets in this first quarter.
I'd like to see the Nuggets not get blown out in the third quarter of this game, if that's a possibility. I know that's like not a thing that we can ask for, and we've never actually seen it happen before, but it would be nice, right?
So Nuggets are favored in the first quarter by 1, and it's plus 100.
Yeah.
So plus money.
Dude, that's plus money.
I'm going to take that. I'm going to take that one.
Alrighty, I like it. I got a lot of bets in on this one. Should be fun. I like the 3-point bets, man. They're just fun because every 3, man, I live and die by them. Right after the game, guys, we're going to be, of course, right back here, the post-game show. So you're going to keep it locked.
Lounge.
Whatever happens, there you go. Whatever happens, you're going to want to be here. Hit the like button on the way out. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, and we'll see you after the game.
Let's go, baby.